Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Netters Network Thursday Things. And before I introduce our very lovely and special guests, let me introduce my co-host. You know him as that guy at the end of the bar, the love of my life, Troy Ficelli. How you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
I'm really good, thank you. Less lovely and glad to be tolerated. Thanks for having me here. I'm drinking an energy drink because we both took a nap and now we need to wake up again.
Nice. Sorta, yeah. And of course, without any further ado, my lovely guest, Maria with Tea and Telly. How you doing, sweetie? And what are you
Good,
sipping
thank
on?
you. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here, and I am having me some hot tea. I think
There
it's,
you go. There.
Pineapple flavored. I thought I would try pineapple flavored.
Nice.
Oh, I have pineapple flavored sparkling water.
Do you? Oh, wow.
There's my camera.
Yeah.
We planned that well.
See that? Yeah. Like that. Okay.
Nice. I love that stuff. Yes, good stuff.
That is awesome. So you were telling us back in the green room, you're having a bit of weather, you're getting some rain. that doesn't sound like a bad thing to me.
No, I love it. I was waiting for it. I was like all excited, and as soon as the clouds came in, I'm like, "Come a little closer. You can do it."
I love the Pacific Northwest. Never been to Colorado, but we've been to Washington State. And when you're up in the hills or in the mountains and you can see that storm on the horizon, it is just beautiful. And you can feel that cool breeze coming in. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
You've never been to Colorado, but I've been to Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Oh, have you? The Springs? I like the Springs. Hey, Connie, saying hi to Connie. I'm not typing, but I'll say hi. Hey. Yeah, Colorado Springs is beautiful. I like that. It's about an hour.
Yeah, it's
hour and a half
a really nice area where we were at. My ex was in the military, so he had to go to Fort Carson, Colorado for some training. And so I stayed in Colorado Springs while he was there.
Yeah, that's where they're all hanging out. I dated a pilot, and that's where he was located. So,
well, before we get too far into the stream, let me say hello to the chat. First one up is Connie Cleary saying hello. How you doing, sweetie? Next we have JPRPH1 saying hello. Let's see. Then we got that last call guy. Yep. And Big Al Presents. How you doing, sweetie? Deleted Scenes. How you, sweetie? How you doing?
Deleted.
And of course, Admiral Evelyn Hampton.
Yep.
How you doing, sweetie?
She's sipping on a lemonade with a bit of lime.
Nice.
And we have Jesse saying hello to everyone. I think that was everybody that I saw. Oop, my screen just jumped.
The fan thing just came in. Hey.
Oh, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. How you doing, sweetie?
And Greg from Fanzine Videos. Good to see you, my friend.
And Samael the Infamous. It's like, cool. It's like I'm getting all the...
Well, this is what happens when you get a big get like Maria T. and Telly. She likes you. She doesn't like me. I can't get her on
stop
my
it,
show.
Please. Whatever.
Of course,
I will. I just
have you as a guest too.
Yeah.
She gave me like a month and a half notice. I was like, I will clear my schedule. Whatever's happening, I got the time. So.
Well, with a month lead time, you may not have had anything scheduled, so you could.
I didn't, so that way I was
start filling up your calendar that way. So it's something to keep in mind.
That's how it happens.
No, I play everybody, and Maria knows I'm just messing around with her. I know her schedule on Fridays is challenging at best. Yes. And that's why she hasn't been able to make it.
Yeah, I would love to, and I probably will sometimes. Sometime soon. I keep saying I got to slow my roll a little bit. You know, it's been crazy busy.
That has been, and see, this is what I and I don't know how true and how close I am to the mark with this, but I keep telling Stephen Ott in Deleted Scenes. You know, it's like you're on every stream. If you're not, streaming on the channel, you're blue wrenching, you're doing all this stuff. Don't overdo it because you burn out.
You do. And you always have to remember your health and stuff. And I found that I was getting very burnt out. And then I felt bad for telling people I can't do it. It was hard for me too, but PJ's like, you're gonna have to learn to do that. I was like, oh, and I had to because I was really getting burned, which is why I cut my live streams back. I was doing them every Friday, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is hard. Because as soon as you have a show, you're already having a meeting to what to do for the next one, like right behind it. And you're just like,
and that's why these ones are only like about an hour. Because I figure most people could do about an hour because everyone's busy, but an hour's doable. Whereas most people are 2 hours or more, depending on whose show you're on.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on for an hour. Let's talk about you. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Great to see friends too.
I like having fun. I don't think I know. Mr. Oaxardo, how are you? Good to see you.
I mean, I guess it depends on you, right? Because one of the things that we've talked about with Big Al of Big Al Presents, who's also in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. In a lot of ways, this does kind of become our social network, right? This is us. Yeah. For me, particularly on Fridays, it's me getting together with all of you guys for drinks and chit chat and so on and so forth. So this is what I said. Friday isn't even a work for me. It's sometimes the other streams trying to squeeze those in. Those kind of can become work.
Yeah. And I do want to apologize to the chat because my sound keeps popping in and out. And Troy has told me that I'll freeze every once in a while. So I want to apologize in advance for that in case that happens.
Actually, just for clarity, it's just your video that tends to freeze up. I haven't heard it. Well, as far as sound goes, we're going to need you guys to let us know in the chat if you're hearing any issues, because I am hearing her over the air sitting directly across from me. So I don't know what she sounds like coming through the mic.
He's right there, 4 feet away.
So far, so good.
Awesome.
So
I guess, Maria, we would, Big Al, you are my social life. Yes. Well, you know what? Thanks so much for making us a part of your social life, Big Al. I mean, I don't think people realize what a gift that is. Being a part of a little family, a little internet family. I super do appreciate it. And Greg is saying my schedule is crazy and I don't get to do a lot of streams. Yeah, I know, man. I'll tell you what though. You have the weekly physical media stream, which is awesome, but you are doing what I need to be doing more of, and that's getting weekly content out, and this is what I was Maria, I was struggling. I have been struggling with my channel. And I am desperately trying to get 6 more subscribers before the end of October, because if that happens, I am going to have a watch party of the movie The Omen. I believe that's 1976.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The Omen.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it to you this way: I'm at 660 subscribers, and I want 6 more subscribers before I do The Omen rewatch. Okay,
we can do it. It'll happen. But I'll make it happen.
And I was saying something online on the Twitter X, whatever we call it these days.
Yeah.
And I was just expressing how much I'm struggling with that. And I had a lot of people, like Tom Connors, Midnight's Edge After Dark. He's like, oh, don't worry about the numbers. It'll come. Just enjoy yourself, blah, 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 this and that.
Yeah.
Then I had someone, I'm not going to call him out by name, and I know he meant well. He didn't think about how it was sounding, but he's like, well, maybe you need to be putting out more content. Maybe you need to get more, regular videos and less live stream and stuff. And I'm like, thanks, man. Like, I don't know that. But when you work full time and you're trying to do YouTube as well, I mean, come on, man. But
well, that is a struggle, because I mean that's kind of why I backed up a little bit from doing live every Friday, and I was trying to do Tuesdays and Fridays, and I was like, oh man, that's a burnout, because you also do have to maintain your channel in other ways, because not everybody is going to be going to your channel for live events. So you want to make sure to have content there, and it was a struggle for me as well. But I noticed that once I started getting those out there, the shorts, the 60-second shorts of my fabulous cat, and just other little things, and other smaller ones. When I first started Mexican Iron Man and Latino Slant were the ones that told me, and of course, PJ were like, look, here's the time you do these mini 60s, these many, like from 2 minutes to 4 minutes, and then so forth and so forth until they get bigger and bigger. And he even said how many times to put that kind of content out. And I'm like, and it's a lot of work. I mean, Greg and those other creators in here know that doing content stuff like that is time consuming. You have retakes, you have settings, you have this and that, and editing. It just takes a while. So
Oh, I hate editing.
Editing takes forever. That, I don't think most, if you aren't putting out content on YouTube, you're just consuming, you don't realize that if I do a 15-minute video, that could be 2 to 3 hours of work.
Yeah.
Maybe not even necessarily including recording of the main roll and B roll and
So like, here's a good example. I dropped a vid last week, I think it was, and it's in 3 segments. And to record those 3 segments took me about 2 hours. And then having to condense down and get rid of all the, what is that on my mirror? What am I doing here? I dropped this. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. I didn't want to say that. And cutting all those little extra bits out. And especially the ones where I'm not on camera. There's one section where I'm showing a really easy way to open your mail. So it's my hands. So I have to try and make sure that my audio matches what my hands are doing. I hate doing those ones.
So, one of the things that this kind of freeform kind of live format, especially with the smaller group that we tend to bring, we always just kind of assume that everybody knows everybody. But the other thing we got to keep in mind is that this will be out there forever, and who knows might venture upon this. So I guess we should back up and just say, Maria, give us the 30,000 foot overview, which is easier for you because you are at a higher elevation than we are, and let us know, about you, about your channel, and how you got into this whole YouTube shtick.
Yes.
Oh yeah, well, sure. I'm happy to. There's a few people here that I don't recognize. So yeah, absolutely. And those have been with me from the get-go. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. It's awesome to have that kind of support. But I started out in radio, and I loved it. It was awesome. I interviewed some pretty awesome people there at that time, and I was like, I kind of liked it because I could be in my jammies and it didn't matter and whatever. But after a while, I think I started realizing how YouTube was people doing more on YouTube at the time. And I said, you know what, maybe I should try it. But I always had this thing about being in front of the camera. I just never thought I was photogenic, and that I just was meant more to be heard and not seen. So it's kind of a big step for me to get in front of the camera. And then when I sat there for like a day trying to figure out what I wanted to name my channel. And I thought about it, the big old list you have, and you start crossing stuff out. So I finally get the name, Tea and Telly. And I like it, obviously, because to me, I wanted something that resembled old style television. You remember when we used to run home from school and we used to sit in front of that TV, and we loved our programs, and people seemed happier than they enjoyed it. They didn't, have, gossip and the Kardashians and all this other stuff, which I'm not condemning them. It's just, to me, just more TV with a little bit more noise. It almost seems like people need the flashy stuff to keep their attention nowadays for some reason. But it's kind of like too much, and I think a lot of it has to do with my being a Zen priest, that I tend to like the calm a little bit more, which is why you see it dim in my place. This isn't just lighting for the camera. It is how I have it all the time. I like things very calm and happy and whatever. Am I always Zen? No. Don't piss off the Latina.
There you go.
Oh, so you got a Latina temper.
That's right.
I'm like,
Which means
my
that you've got
chanclas.
this duality about you that you have
that
to keep in
nobody
balance.
sees. Yeah, exactly. It's all about image. Anyway, so I decided. So I sat there and I stared. I thought, okay, I got my name. I started the page and I sat there and stared at it, going, now what do I do? And so I was like, ah. So I put out a couple of videos, and then I only had maybe, like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 videos out. And PJ's like, PJ, I get a message from this guy named PJ from Oral Nation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's this schmuck? And what does he want? I'm like, who's a scammer? That's all I ever got was like scammer emails. And then he's like, what are you doing with your channel? Et cetera, et cetera. And so I thought, you know what? Maybe this guy's a little bit serious. I went and looked at his page and stuff. I was like, he's doing stuff. He's really asking. So I messaged him back, and then he asked me to be on the show. He said, you want to come on and be a guest, a co-host? I'm going to have Jay Lee from the Orphalon. And I'm like, yeah. And I still have this video, and I go back to it every once in a while to kind of remind me how far I've come, because I go back to it and I laugh at myself, because I started out, because my equipment and everything is kind of advanced since then, and I started out with those big giant headset things where it was like all headset, like my head's like this little, and then uh I hadn't been used to being in front of cameras, so I was like, what do I do? What do I look like? Do I comb my hair? Do I, what do I? And I come just looking like a total dweeb, and all bashful. I'm just like, I'm really gonna. And then that's when Jay Lee, PJ tells Jay Lee, oh, introduce Maria. He says, oh, good, I'm glad she's here. I was gonna leave if she didn't come, and it caught me off guard, and I laughed and I snorted the first time. And
I love that Maria snort.
And Jay Lee's like, did you just snort? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, don't apologize. Don't ever apologize for that. He says, as a matter of fact, now I'm gonna have to say some jokes to make you laugh, because I want to hear it
there
a few
you
more
go.
times. And I was like, oh my God. And then what's her name? The weather. Kate the weather.
Katie Nicolau.
Yeah, Katie.
Who's going to be on my channel tomorrow night.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Nice. Katie says she has the best snort, and they were all laughing and stuff, and because of that, that's where I got the whole thing where people in the chat trying to see how many times I snort to my show, and it gave me confidence. Like, I don't have to be embarrassed about it, because it's something that happens. And my nose holes they're tiny. The doctor says, you have this nose the size of a child. How can you breathe? I'm like, I don't know. That's why I snort. but it was helpful. And ever since then, it just kind of snowballed from there. And Tinta has been through so many changes over the time, trying to find what's best. I had one producer, and then I was like, well, okay, let's try something else. So, there's been a lot of changes, but I think I finally started to find my ground. And I tell you what, this journey of, I think, almost 3 years, I didn't really do anything until a year, maybe after I started my channel, has been unbelievable to meet the best people out there, and and connect with the most amazing people. And it has been like a Zen thing for me as well. I love it and I wouldn't change it. And it's just going to continue to grow because there's so much more that's happening. And it's such a blessing when I turn around and something else comes from it. So it's fun and I love it. I love it a
And
lot.
and that is something you mention it obliquely, but I don't know that you do a lot of content about it. You are a practicing Zen priestess, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when someone knows you, they kind of see it in you. You do have that kind of chill, kind of, even the sound of your voice. I've joked, and not really joked. You ought to do more ASMR videos because you really have that thing down. But how long have you been doing that? And did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I know it kind of comes as a surprise because I'm kind of the minority um, of ordained Zen priest because it's a lot of practice. So it's 10 years of practice for me
Wow.
before I became ordained because it's a lot. It's a lot of things that you have to. What's weird is it's not that you have to learn; it's what you have to unlearn.
Mm.
And unlearning something is harder than learning something, I think. Um, so I did it because I do well, I don't sound hokey, but I really do care about people and animals and everything like that. And I was like, what can I give back to them to help them function through their day? To be, hey, Adega and Samuel, Adega. Now he knows what it sounds like because I always type it. We say Adega, and it just. But now he knows what it sounds like when I do that. Adega. Just kidding. He's like, oh God. So I really felt that giving back to people something um, is a gift to find themselves and to find a way to function through life with a because I always tell people it isn't a beautiful thing. Life happens and bad things are going to happen, but it's the ability to be able to kind of get through it and think about things in a different way so that you can learn to function and help people. And so meditation is definitely a big deal for me because it has helped people through physical pain, through sicknesses, through um, stress and depression and all kinds of things, relieve them
Yeah.
from migraines and whatnot. So it's healing physically and mentally since our body and mind are always connected anyway, they're not separate. So I enjoy it, and I was starting to do, and PD's going to be like, "See, I told you," because he kept telling me, "You need to do more Zen stuff. You need to do." So I was going to try to do more on Tuesdays for sitting with people, and I thought I'm going to feel like a weirdo sitting there going, "Okay, now we're going to meditate for 20 minutes," and me sitting there in front of the camera just doing this. Looking over at the chat going, is somebody saying anything?
Yeah.
I have to find another way to do it. So I started doing kind of Zen talks instead. So I started doing that a bit more. And I actually teach meditation for a company that I work for. I do it for
Nice.
it is a huge deal that they honored me to do that because it is a huge company and it covers all the states. And so when I do it, I'm doing it all over. And the feedback on it is amazing to know how people have been able to learn how to sit and things like that. But I love it. And the one thing that I'm going to be doing more of is marrying people. Um, uh, I can marry everybody by myself. Anyway, so I can, but I also want to, what I was doing before was visiting elders who are kind of in their homes and they don't have anybody to talk to, and I want to be there for them to kind of just bring a smile to their face or something, you know. So I enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Well, it's like Troy tells me that I have a healing touch because he has a headache or he's not feeling well, and I just like touch his head or his neck or whatever, and he feels so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently,
You're
I've
cool
got some
in
healing touch.
I don't think enough. Okay, folks, we're gonna wander a little bit into woo-woo territory here, but I don't think that enough people realize. You hear in religious circles the talk about laying on of hands, but I don't think enough people understand how physical touch has a mental, spiritual, and physical impact on you. And that physical impact, there are scientific studies about it. It's not as woo-woo as one might think, but you gotta look at it with a scientific mind. A scientific mind means you're open-minded. You gotta look at it. You gotta just not dismiss things out of hand. And what Netter was getting at is there are times where I'll just have this horrible headache and I'll just come into her office and she'll get up to give me a hug and I'll just take her hand and put it on my head, And
okay. We start off every day with a hug. And of course, anytime he comes upstairs, because my office is upstairs on the main level, his is down in the family room. So whenever he comes up or to get something to eat, go to the bathroom, whatever, he comes to my office and we get another hug. And that hug really does help you to get through the next part of your day.
It does.
It's just that little bit of physical contact. And hugs are awesome. I love hugs. I'm a big hugger. I mean, Troy can tell you, I love hugs.
Yeah.
And just that one hug just helps me get through the next part of my day, because he knows I've been struggling at work. We had, for those of you who aren't aware, they had a big, what they call reduction force or RIF, and we lost 17% of our workforce, which came out to 65 employees.
Really?
And on my team alone, that was 2 people.
No,
actually, no, that's wrong. We had 11 people on our team. We now have 5. But for my immediate little group, I lost the guy that was helping me get all of my work done. So like he did half, I did half. Now I'm doing all of it. So I've been struggling, and it's like that hug helps so much.
It does. It releases like endorphins. It does all this, stuff. And we, as humans need that contact in order to that's if you think about it, that's how you love. People don't forget that love is actually an action. And so when you kiss someone, you fall in love with them because it's an action. You're connecting in a certain way. So absolutely believe in that. And I do that. Excuse me, my voice. I do the same thing too, where I also like to heal people as well and make them feel a lot better. And I like that. So you're curandera.
Okay, Fancy, just for you. Hugs.
And this is why we've been talking for the past 3.5 years about follow the science. Well, when they talk about social distancing, people
lost their mind.
There is some bad science there. You can't be very social if you're distanced. That's why we're doing everything we can to bring the distance down as much as possible. Hello, Leah Rose. Good to see you.
But at the same time, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, no.
I was going to say at the same time, there is a certain point where we have that space where we don't want people to crowd it, like strangers.
You have to control that space.
You have to, there's that space where I think probably arm's length. Before anybody gets closer to arm's length, you're like, dude, what the heck, back up, man. Why are you in my aura?
It is the levels of intimacy, right? I mean, wave from a distance, talk from more than arm's length, shake hands, embrace. That is the levels of intimacy.
I think it's also a cultural thing for some people. I see Samuel in here saying that his mom's the opposite. She hated hugs and stuff. Cultural and also eras. Certain eras, like certain eras, age groups. They didn't grow up with hugs and the whole thing like that, and so they didn't have that, and then certain eras did, and so, I think it has a lot of factors and culture and age and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Growing up Italian, the hugs, the kisses, even kisses on the lips, very European, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was totally good with that. This idea that other people would look at that strange and have a weird connotation to that. It's like, sorry, I don't see it that way.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
It is. It absolutely is.
Oh, speaking of, real quick, I wanted to say, since we're on the healing thing, I hope that all of you can go to our sweet friend Joe Malazzie's page, his famous wonderful dog Suji. Love her so much. She has a healing thing too, which animals tend to have. And every time I would have a crazy brain day, my work is very mental, and so I'm like, and then I'm scrolling through stuff and I see Suji, and I'm just like, you just feel like her innocent eyes and everything like that. Well, his dog, she's not doing well right now, and it's breaking my heart. And I see it. I saw in one of the pictures he posted, and I said, Joseph, her eyes are saying she just is not doing well, as he's taking her to the vet tomorrow. So I always like to mention people that, if I hear about you and you're not feeling well, I always mention that. That's the other thing I do my meditation. At the beginning of a meditation, we do this thing where we dedicate the merits of our sitting. And what that is like, giving to someone. And so at the beginning, I always say I dedicate the merits of my sitting to, and then I will list people, like if I see somebody in our group that's not feeling well or whatever the case is, and I mention them. And so I do that, and I mention Suji, even in outside animals, whatever. But it's heartbreaking to see animals suffering, and unfortunately can't communicate with them. Just tell me what's wrong. So hopefully they find out what's wrong with her. But go, everybody, say, send your love to Joseph.
Absolutely. And I think animals, you can see a lot of humanity, ironically enough, in animals. We were just talking about the cultural differences. You see those differences in animals too. If you have a dog, that dog is very clear. When something's wrong, you hear the whine, you hear the, you see the body language and so forth. Cats, on the other hand, absolutely the opposite. They could be in excruciating pain.
Yeah.
They could be suffering, and they just will not let you know. Yeah, they are so stoic.
They're stubborn.
They are incredibly stubborn.
Well, I guess that's where I speak cat, because I know exactly. I mean, they don't even have to do anything. They can just look at me, and I'm like, oh, my poor baby's not feeling well.
You have that empathy, but I'm just saying that there clearly is a cultural difference between, and I say that a little tongue in cheek when I say cultural, between dogs and cats.
Right.
But
they're people too.
yeah, exactly.
Hello, Kalinda.
But so but your channel is you told us how it got started. You told us how much PJ contributed to it. He is awesome. He really is.
He is. I love PJ.
We're always quoting him. The whole we grow together concept it really that concept alone is what inspired this particular Thursday show.
Yeah.
But so if you had to describe to the viewers that are now going to be subscribing, because everyone is going to subscribe to you, link in the description below, how would you describe your channel and its main thrust and focus?
I would say my channel is not about me. It's about you.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything I do is for people, is whether to help them in meditation, how to make cheap food that's really good, or, having awesome people on my show to highlight their talents, their abilities. Whatever it is I do, it's to make you feel good. And that's basically what I want my channel to represent. That's why you never see any gossip or arguing or complaining or anything like that, because I want people to come to it and feel like, I feel happy and feel good. And it's not all flowers and lambs in life. I want people thinking I walk around going, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. It's what I want you to have while you're visiting my channel, because of how hectic our life can be, because of the chaos and insanity. And hello, Leah. And but that's what I want. That feeling that we got as kids running to the TV for that show we really like, the comfort viewing. And I want that. I like that. I like comfort viewing. So
Now, I know
yeah.
that you have guests on your show.
Mhm.
So who would be your big get? Who would you love to have as guest?
I tell you what, I have had some awesome people, and they're getting bigger. And see, the thing is, if I mention some of them, they're actually going to be on my show, so I don't want to spill the beans yet. But were you going to say something, Troy, before I answer?
No, I was just going to say, in that instance, then someone you don't already have lined up that you would love to reach out to.
The one thing that I get lucky in is that when I do ask someone if they would like to join me, the good people, because some of them may look at your channel and be like, she's not big enough. You're not big enough.
Yeah.
No, never mind. It's like, well, then that's okay, because I'm not about the numbers. I'm not bringing you on to pump me up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about that. I mean, in a sense, you do. You want the more, the more subscribers you have means people are enjoying it. That's what it tells me. Yeah. So the more people I get, I'm like, oh, cool. Somebody else likes my stupid jokes. But so when I do get somebody, they understand that it's laid back. I have had some guests say, my God, that was a blast. You are fun to talk with and work with, because I ask questions outside of the norm, that they get on a daily basis. But so when I look for guests, I want somebody who can bring something positive to us. And I don't know if you ever noticed, when I have a guest on that is known for one thing, we talk about something else entirely, because I let them talk about what they like, not just what I want, but what do you like and what makes you have fun and enjoy life. And they're just like, la, 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 and that's why they like it, because of that. So I think if I were to have anybody on, it would just be somebody who wants to talk about themselves in a different sense, that they don't have to answer, what was it like to work with so-and-so, and things like that. I want to have people that invented things, that changed things, that want to change things, that want to have, to inspire us. Like I had on Elon. And hi, Elon, I'm going to tell you about this. She is, and I told you, I think she's, well, I have to say, I don't like saying this because she is a legacy in herself, but she is the daughter of the Otis Williams, the founder of the Temptations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's been on my show a few times, and she I asked her to come on because I wanted to talk to her son about the project he was doing as a young lad, to have the kind of heart he had to want to um, do his TAPS program. And TAPS was created to have a safe haven for those people that get bullied, kids that get bullied and stuff like that. And I wanted to have them on there for that. So my guests aren't, it isn't, I don't choose them from how popular they are, how big they are. I don't do it for ratings. I do it because I want them to talk about awesome things that do things for others. And
Exactly.
so it's hard to pinpoint, like, well, I'd love to have, Kevin Bacon on or whatever. Although Kevin's been really sweet, but it's
Wait, you know Kevin Bacon?
next subject.
Okay.
I'm like, but it's just a matter of.
Now, for those of you playing at home, playing degrees of Kevin Bacon, if you know Maria, you are that much closer to Kevin Bacon. No,
I'm 3 degrees from Kevin Bacon currently from being in Poltergeist 3. So
yeah, I know, right? I think
awesome.
a lot of us have that circle, and he said he was going to do a show, a new podcast about that 6 degrees. He calls it 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I was like, oh my God, that's so hilarious. I just thought about it the other day. I was actually going to do a show on the 3 degrees. I was going to call it 3 degrees. And I'm like, I don't think I'm copying him.
You got to, when you do talk to him, you got to ask him, what's it like to have the best last name in the world?
And no kidding. I know, right? Everybody loves you. No, just kidding. No, but I mean, and that's the other thing too, is I won't confirm nor deny if I do or don't, because I'm not like a name drop person. But like, because there's some awesome people I talk with. I've never asked them to be on my show, and I just know them. They're just good people. But I didn't want to be that kind of name dropper and stuff like that, because I want to do it I want people to come to be on my show because they want to be, and they're enjoying it, having a good time. And I've been wanting to keep the secret, but I think I'm just gonna say it because I'm excited about this one too. One of my guests I'm going to be having on it soon is actually maybe I'll just put this way, one of the stars of Dark Matter.
Nice.
Oh.
And I love him. He's the sweetest person ever. And but I'm excited to get him on. He is filming right now, and when he comes back from filming, he'll be there. But so I mean, I went around the block several times around this way just to answer her question. But it was hard to answer because I wanted to express the kind of guests that I have. And those are the people I like to have as my guests.
But I totally agree with you. My channel, just even especially like Thursday things, it's not about the numbers. It's not for me. It's for everyone else. Because my guests I have I have smaller people that come on. I'm helping them to grow their channel, even if they only get 2 or 3 subs from being here as a guest. It's every little bit helps. Plus, my thing is, you get my numbers up, you get prizes. So my current one is I am 2 away from 275, and as I want to hit 275, I'm gonna have a trivia contest to give away gifts. And
the other
gifts
thing,
are fun.
The other thing too is if you let's face it, there's so many YouTube channels that we all follow. You can't watch everything all the time.
Yeah.
So I know you probably don't even realize how many times in a stream your name will come up or I will mention you. Just like, well, keep in mind, especially for mine, which is last call, it's like a bunch of friends getting together at a pub. You know that we're going to talk about the friends that aren't there too. And, Maria said the other day, or I just saw Maria post it or whatever. And there's a lot of YouTubers that I love that, I talk about all the time. And it's like, I got to get that person on because I want to introduce my viewers to Maria, to Greg from Fan Scene,
Yeah.
to Michael French from
Yeah.
Retro Blast or whatever.
Yeah.
Talk about them all the time.
Yeah,
Let me
right.
introduce you to them, because if I watch their videos, I know you guys are going to like them, because
The same.
we're kind of into the same stuff. So I
Yeah.
think that's absolutely it. The
Yeah.
other thing that you just touched on, or I don't think you may have even intended to touch on it, or realized you were getting at it obliquely. So Netter and I have been in fandom for, well, over 30 years, since, before we met, going to conventions and so forth, meeting celebrities, going and doing security, where literally we were the people escorting the celebrity to and from an autograph signing or whatever, sometimes even having lunch with the celebrity and so forth. Coming to realize, and I know this is one of those things you're going to hear me say it, and everyone's going to be like, duh. But you don't think about it this way. Celebrities are just regular people that you happen to know from the flashy box on your desk or wall or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't know you, because it's kind of a one-way thing.
Right.
But they are just people. And I was just saying to someone the other day, I said, one thing that people forget about celebrities is fame does not translate to fortune. Netter and I have both known and met and talked with and even had meals with, actresses who were, on every magazine cover in the 80s, on posters that guys had on their walls and so forth.
Right.
And now they're living, single in a trailer park and just barely getting by. And it's like, guys.
Yeah, it's like, you want me to do a convention? I'm there. How much you paying me?
Yeah, exactly. This is now how I make my living, It's
like, okay, I'm going to sell my photos for $20 a pop so I can make my rent.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly right. I can't tell you how many. I am not someone who cares about autographs, but I will pay for that autograph picture or whatever, because I know that that's how they're earning their living,
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. No, I know. And that's the thing. I think what makes them feel comfortable about talking is that, well, whenever I start talking to them, and that they don't get the whole, I don't get all like, what's that, word? Oh, celebrity. I talk to them like I talk to you. And I think they need that, because sometimes we have to remember that some of them have completely different lifestyles than we do, that we're not used to.
Right.
And so, I think it's refreshing for them to be able just to talk and be us and stuff, and I don't know. I find that sometimes I forget, like, I'm like, oh, I forgot you're Mr. Famous or Mrs. Famous.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I used to be on public access television.
That's right. She was I was on a Motorsports
program,
girl.
And I was a Motorsports Unlimited girl. We had to wear these little unitards, and they were really a little too small for us, with boys t-shirts, so they were very tiny and tight, and we had feathers in our hair. And the whole thing was, because of public access TV, they figured people be, flipping through the channels. Okay, what's on? Hey, wait, there's girls. They'd stop, and they're like, here's some girls that are looking pretty nice. And then they hear us talking about motorsports, engines, heel arc welding, racing, whatever. And they're like, hey, they actually are talking about stuff I'm interested in. So they'd stay on the channel and watch to, find out what we know.
Yeah.
And that's how they would get their views. And that was awesome. the big shtick,
Yeah. Somebody was asking, I think I saw someone flip through saying, hey, your guest is an Orville fan. They probably noticed this.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, if you follow any of the Orville groups on the social medias, You gotta know Maria. You really do. I mean, come on.
And then
But
as soon as somebody says Orwell, Maria.
yeah, exactly.
And PJ.
And I was just telling Jesse, now that he brings that up, I should really do a video about that because it's true. There's some great, just as we're talking about the strikes going on right now with the writers and the actors and so forth. I keep talking about how a lot of these battles have been previously fought in other areas, and how it was the cast of Happy Days who fought for their likenesses and receiving royalties for their likenesses on, the lunch boxes, the action figures, and so on and so forth. And that changed the marketing of these kinds of things. But that's still something that needs to be negotiated in their contracts. So, for example, Sir Alec Guinness, when he was in Star Wars, he got paid what he got paid for being in the film, but he also made a percentage of the box office. And he got a percentage of all those action figures and all the things that, had his likeness on it. And he made buku bucks off of it. Otherwise, they never would have gotten him back for the other two films. Never. I was wondering if Hasbro pay any royalties Star Wars toys figures. I was just getting to that, Jesse, because there are some action figures that fans desperately want and can't get, and it's specifically because of this. There, if you just in your mind's eye think about the Cantina scene and all those background characters, we've gotten many of those action figures, but there are two girls with these, this beehive of braids in their hair. They're known as the Tonica sisters, and one of them brought a lawsuit against Lucasfilm about the rights to her likeness on, I think it was a T-shirt or something. It was a picture of the girls, and they were like, okay, and they settled out of court, and then never put out an action figure of her, specifically because of that. So to this day, the fans are like, we still want the Tonica sisters. Well, whatever. So that might be a conversation for another day, but that is
now there are people out there doing hacks. You take this action figure and you do this thing, and that's how you make them.
I do have some videos about that too. So, but anyway, we're probably going to be wrapping up shortly, but I did want to make sure that because we are in mid-September here, we're winding down the summer, we're heading into autumn, specifically October, the Halloween season. Are we going to be seeing any content shift on T and Telly? Maybe a return of Mistress Vampira? Or
actually, yes.
There we go.
I haven't talked about it for a while, but Lady Vampire is still something that is being worked on as far as the comic book. I just had to wait my turn in line because the person who's doing it has other projects. But I am now starting to design the actual. Well, I'm not doing it myself. I have commissioned somebody fabulous who's going to be making my Lady Vampira sorceress outfit. Anna Volkelstein, she's going to be creating for me. Her work is unbelievable, and I couldn't think of anybody else that I would just enjoy more to do that. So I am preparing for this through the month of October because Lady Vampira is going to be making a public appearance next year.
Wow, that's great.
It's at some conventions and stuff. So I'm going to be doing stuff with that. And so there's going to be definitely, you'll see marketing for Lady Vampira. So,
and for the and regarding the comic book, do we have maybe a crowdfund to look forward to that we can get behind?
I kind of was hoping to go through it without the crowdfunding, but you know what? Because my personality is like, I don't want to ask anybody for anything. but I think it would help the process a little bit
Yeah.
more. And so I think that PJ is like, we may want to do that. I bring up PJ, guys, because PJ is my agent. So
Absolutely. I get where you're coming from on that, but as I've been seeing, specifically in comic books, but this is probably true about all content. As I'm seeing the crowdfund model more and more, and thinking through the concept of the independent creator, I'm realizing that this is a marketing paradigm that has a great deal of power behind it, because it is just like what we've been talking about this whole hour about our community and growing together and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
When you have a crowd fund like that, you have immediate buy-in. You build that audience, that loyal fan base that feels like they're a part of it. It's like, I'm looking forward to this. I know this character. I want to see this comic. I'm going to share it out. I'm going to do, because my payment or whatever is that I get to see more of this character that I love, and you'll never, in that kind of an environment, when you're a creator who is, has built this audience that way, you're never going to turn around on them and go, oh, you're all istophobes if you don't like what I'm doing, because it's like family. You would never do that. And that is the beautiful thing about these kind of grassroots independent creator communities. So
that's true.
I would encourage that element of it. It's not like oh, I'm depending on other people. No, they're also depending on you to create this thing that they want to love. Let's do this thing together. Let's be a team. That's kind of
the thing I'm excited about is that it's unique because the storyline is kind of unbelievable. It is different.
Don't give away too much.
I'm not going to give away too much. But the one thing I do like is that it's rarely been done to where it's a real individual going character instead of a character going real. Where you have, a comic book and you had Wonder Woman, and then all of a sudden you get the TV series, you get the real person. So I'm kind of doing it in reverse, which is a little bit more challenging, because when people have a comic book and they're like, oh my God, and they are falling in love with this character and they know the storyline. This way it's backwards. It's me and going into my character and then being a comic book, and they're gonna be like, well, I know her I see her on Telly all the time, and what the heck kind of comic book is she gonna create? I can guarantee that it's gonna be unbelievable. I'm excited about it because the storyline is something else.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Great. And is in the more immediate, like couple weeks or so, anything that you've got planned on your channel or whatever that you might want to mention and let people know about?
Let me see. I'm probably going to bring Elon back. I know that Cameron has enjoyed having the three of us worked really well together. We did paranormal stuff, and there's been a lot of activity with that lately. And of course, with the Halloween stuff coming around and everybody's wanting to catch some scary stories, I'll probably be doing that a lot and bringing that up. And I'm going to plan that out a little bit thoroughly because I've been keeping busy. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but yes, I've been being offered stuff on modeling things, and I'm just like, I'm not a model, but it's the glasses. I'm always changing my glasses. It's the sunglasses, the glasses, and stuff.
I was about to tell you don't shy away from, but I know how difficult it can be. But just keep in mind, if someone's reaching out to you on something, they see something there, and who knows how that could help your brand.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually, I started my website. You can go to it now. It's kind of sort of live. I'm not done with it yet, but tandtelly.com. And I'm going to be branding my own cat stuff.
There you go. Sure, sure.
So, the baby, he's Mr. Famous. So I'm going to be branding my own cat stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I'm just going to go for it. I'm not going to say no like I did before where I missed so many opportunities. And I tell you, it's the encouragement of our family. And that's my chair squeaking, guys. It's
That's
not
right. That's
okay.
I
My
thought
chair's
that
all. It's the encouragement.
Mr.
Of this great
Londell is saying,
community.
take the modeling gigs. You'll set the world on its ear.
I don't know, man.
Maybe start a little section of your webpage. Call it Telly fans or something like that.
Oh my gosh, that's so weird. It's interesting. I'm humbled by a lot of this, getting messages from people saying, "Hey, can I get your autograph?" and things. I'm like, what? It's very humbling. But it's nice because, again, to me, that's only a validation that they're enjoying what I'm doing, and that's what I like to hear. That's all it is to me. It's not.
And you could do that too. You could have color prints on your page. Then you can have a little uptick for an autograph. Yeah. That's marketing, girl. That's how this works.
It is. But I like the gifts that our community has. So I will, like, some of my T-shirts were done by Anna Fulkerstina, and her art is on the Podcast Brothers because they're selling Teen Telly T-shirts. So her artwork is a T-shirt on their thing. Am I getting commission or anything? I don't care about that. It's something that's fun and I like it and whatever. But yeah, I like to have the talents from our community come together to create things and make things happen. So
awesome.
I like that.
Awesome. That's all I got for tonight, Netter. How about you?
Well, there's always things going on.
Well, that's true. That's true. Like, for example, tomorrow night, as I alluded to earlier in the stream, over on Last Call, Friday nights, every Friday night, come to my place and have a virtual drink with me. 9 Central, 10 Eastern. My regular designated driver, Aged Boomer, who lives in Florida, this is the second year in a row he dodged a big hurricane down there, and we are going to be having Emmy award-winning meteorologist Katie Nicolau back to the channel to talk about that. She's going to explain to us what the difference is between a tropical storm, a hurricane, a post-tropical cyclone, what all these things are and what they mean, and what happened with all that. So that will be literally
very nice.
Literally, we'll be getting together and having drinks and talking about the weather.
Yeah, that's literally that's how we started our conversation tonight. So that's awesome. I'll have to say hi to her. It's been a while. So
absolutely. And so that's tomorrow night. Then Saturday, back here on this channel, Netter's Network, for Netter's Network Retro Cinema. Netter, what are we going to be watching tomorrow night?
It's a Sylvester Stallone movie, if I recall correctly. Oop, just knock something over.
There you go.
Who are we?
Cobra.
We're going to be watching Cobra.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't have the film, we will have the Cosme link pinned to the top of the chat so you can follow along.
And why do we have a copy? Because we own physical media, right, Greg?
Physical media. See, like behind me, all that.
Love physical media.
Absolutely. So that's Saturday night. Sunday. The place to start out on Sunday is Stephen Otten's Deleted Scenes channel. He starts his day early, where he's got a couple live streams that he's got going on, but the one that's
busy guy.
Yeah, the one that's scheduled that I know about, to point everyone to, is at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, his Unscripted. Don't know what his topic is going to be this week, but definitely check it out because it is a great lead-in to 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern, over on Aged Boomer's channel, Geeky Geezers, where we bring you the geeky news that some of it you may have heard on other channels, but we will definitely be bringing a different perspective. Possibly a bunch of stuff you haven't seen on other channels just because we're weird and we found it interesting and we think you will too. And we have a lot of gaming news. This has not been a good year for gaming. But we do have some news about some new games coming out. We'll bring you probably some updates on the Hollywood strikes. Looking
That's still going on, huh?
Huh?
That's still going on, huh?
Oh yeah, that's and no end in sight. We will be talking about some films that are anticipated that have been pushed out, some that we wish would just be pushed out into the ocean, but we will talk more about that on Sunday. Then back over to Deleted Scenes to wind down. I don't know, Marie, if you've ever seen this, but at 11 Central, 10 Eastern, so that'd be 11, 10, 9. I don't know if that's like 9 or 8 your time on Sunday nights. The Other Side of Midnight on Deleted Scenes channel. He brings it down a little bit, gets a little bit mellow, kind of that Zen kind of a thing, you know. He plays a little bit of jazz music at the opening.
Nice.
It's those kind. A lot of radio channels used to do that back in the day. At the end of the day, late night Sunday just helps you get to sleep and everything. Definitely worth checking out. Great way to end the weekend.
Awesome, I have to do that.
That is the weekend. I'm not even ready to look at the coming week yet. Let's get through the weekend. Let's just get through the weekend. So,
and then of course, next Thursday, right here on Netters Network, not Retro Cinema, Thursday Things. I forgot what
show am I?
What show am I on? I'll be having Disney Sheepherder.
Nice.
Disney Sheepherder, yes, and I hope Disney Sheepherder likes the thumbnail that I created.
Nice. I thought it was rather clever what he did.
Yeah, take a look at that.
Well, I have to say thank you guys for having me. It's always fun being with you guys. It's always fun to work with you guys, and I mention you guys too on my show, just so you know.
Oh, thank you.
Super appreciate it. Yeah. If I can get to that. That little milestone, definitely planning that,
we'll get you there.
Watch party of 1976's The Omen, and Greg, if you can make it, love to have a good horror fan, in the panel to talk about it. It's going to be a great time. So I don't have anything else to talk about other than just to say, for a Zen priestess who I know probably has some Christianity in her background, you probably know this Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. What could be more Zen than that? Right? That's all I got for tonight, Natter.
Thanks, guys.
Well, y'all know what I always say at the end of every stream, and I mean every word of it. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well, good, and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, your questions, your trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. It doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, joining each other's company and having a great time. And you aren't just our friends. You are our family. Absolutely. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so much. You can be anywhere right now, and you choose to be here. That is so encouraging.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel the love every time you guys are here. Because like I said, you can be anywhere, and you're here. And that just means so much.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you guys again for being here with us, sharing this time with us, welcoming our very special guest.
Thank you so much.
And we will definitely see you next.